everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star, and today we will be doing one of my favorite videos that I do every month, all of the plush that's sold in the prior month. So today we're looking at June of 2021. We're going to look at all of the plush that's sold on our eBay platform. Yep, every single one of them. So we'll start with the guy you're looking at here. This is a white tiger from The Greatest Show on Earth. He is Circus Ringling Brothers stuffed animal. His brand is Fiesta, and that is typically an okay or like a lower end bread and butter brand. But whenever you find animals from zoos, circuses, things like that, aquariums, SeaWorld, things like that, it doesn't really matter so much the brand if it has somewhere on it that it's from a specific circus, aquarium, or a zoo, because people do like to collect those. Sometimes they forget to get a souvenir when they go. Some people just collect them, and they're more well known. More people are going to look at the fact that this says Greatest Show on Earth than it has the Fiesta tags. So I always take a chance with animals from popular parks and things like that. This guy sold for $12.99. And he was a first class shipment, so that's always nice. I love when animals include too. I like when things ship first class. Next up, we have a Build-A-Bear Golden Retriever. I love Build-A-Bear. It is one of my tried and true solid bread and butter brands for the plainer animals. And then once in a while, I find the really nice bolos of the more popular pop culture characters like Star Wars and Hello Kitty and My Little Ponies. Those are always really good to pick up too. So this Build-A-Bear Golden Retriever or Yellow Lab, he sold for $19.99. Next up, we have in Carter's Owl Lovey. You guys know that Loveys are a definite bolo. Even if they're going to sell at bread and butter prices, I still consider them a bolo. They're something that we should all be looking for all the time, and you should source anytime you find them. You should grab them up, because even the generic brands will sell for a good amount of money. This is Carter's. He's just like I believe Carter's is Walmart or Target. I can't remember which one, but it's one of those. This is just a Carter's Lovey, and I accepted a best offer on it of $19.99. So if you get the other brands that go for a lot more, you can imagine that's even more profit you'll make. So I always recommend picking up Loveys. They are a bolo. If you don't know what a Lovey is, it's a small square blanket, usually with a collared trim around the edges, and in the middle it typically has a plush head, sometimes the whole body or a small doll, but it's some type of plush in the middle. You want to use keywords like security blanket, baby soother, Lovey, of course. You want to use that. And you want to put, if it has trim, the brand, and sometimes I'll put infant if I have room. Security blanket's good to use. All these are good keywords. So yeah, this one sold for $19.99, and our cost of goods was 50 cents. I would pay up to $1 for most of these, even the generic ones. Next up, we have a Gans Webcam Poodle. You guys know I say all the time, Gans is hit or miss. I'm always willing to take the risk when I find them for the right cost of goods. If I get them in a wholesale lot or find them for 50 cents or less out in the wild or at a church sale or something, I will grab every single Gans there, bring them home, photograph them, and list them and find out what they're worth when I'm listing and comping. Some are worth $10, some are worth $12, and some are worth all the way up to $30 and $40 depending on which one you get. If you don't like doing volume or bread and butter, then I would recommend comping them before you purchase them. But then you're going to spend more time out in the wild while you're sourcing, looking up each one. To me, it's just worth it if they're cheap enough. This poodle was one of the lower end ones, so she sold for a best offer of $9. And then next we have a Neopet from Mcdonald. So McDonald's Happy Meal toys are kind of poop. I used to, in the beginning, look for them and source them and flip them, and I did okay with them. I had a lot that were bread and butter, and I had some higher end ones that were like vintage, Lord of the Rings and stuff, and I did really well with them, but I think I just lucked out because I found really good ones, and I was new enough that I didn't really understand that most Happy Meal toys are going to be poop, Burger King toys, things like that. But I looked out at a yard sale in a thrift store, and I had a lot that were worth money. I sold one Babe. Nope, not Babe. His name's Wilbur. Oop. I had a little Wilbur Pig from Charlotte's Web that was from Wendy's, I believe. And guys, when I say McDonald's Happy Meal toys, I pretty much just mean interchangeably any kids' meal toys from restaurants. But I had a Babe that sold for like $35, and he was very small. He was like the same size as this wolf. But as time went on and I learned more and became more experienced, I realized that most of the McDonald's or the kids' meal toys are not going to be worth money, but some are. So if it's something you're willing to look into, or if you find a ton of them at a thrift store or church sale or yard sale, you could always quickly comp them and see if those are worth money, but typically they're not. So these guys are Neopets, so to me they're worth it. They're going to be bread and butter. They came in a wholesale lot. Our last one we purchased from Greg before we stopped sourcing before our move, and these came all in a bag. There were a bunch of them. So I just sat down one day and did all the photographs and made a template and just listed all of the Neopets at once. Most of them came in around 12 to 15. There were a couple that comped around 18 to 19. Neopets are a bolo. So that's where you have to decide when you find kids' meal toys. If you know that what that kids' meal toy is a bolo, you still probably want to pick it up. Neopets are great. I love Neopets. They always sell fast, and they always sell for good money. So this is a 4-inch wolf, and it sold for $14.99. Next up, we have My Little Pony by Ty. So My Little Ponies that are going to be different brands are going to be worth different money. They're going to be worth different money. They're going to be worth different amounts. So, of course, the Ty is probably like the lower end, and then you'll have Hasbro, Mattel, and Build-A-Bear will all be worth more. Rainbow Dash is a pretty popular character. Rainbow Dash, Twilight Sparkle, Pinkie Pie. Those are like three I know I see all the time and I do well with. Even the ones that don't go for a lot go pretty fast. They seem to be three popular characters. If you ever have a My Little Pony and you don't know who you have, just Google My Little Pony and then type in what you see on their tush there, and it'll tell you their name. This one sold for $9.99. Speaking of Ty and poop, this is Ty Beanie Balls. I picked it up because it was the Incredible Hulk, and I thought, it's Ty, but it's the Hulk. It only sold for $9.37, but I only paid 50 cents. So I kind of try to avoid the little tiny Beanie Balls anymore, unless it's like a super popular character. But he did sell for $9.37, so I guess that's okay. Next up, we have an Iguana who didn't have any tags. I probably could have guessed at what brand this Iguana is, but I don't like to do that. I don't like to put a brand in the title or in my listing if I don't have proof of it, just because I don't want to invite a bad experience. I don't want to invite a shady buyer who wants to pull a fast one or whatever. So if I don't have the tags to back it up, I don't put a brand. You can still sell stuff without brands if you use good keywords and you have nice photos. I just put Iguana, Plush, Rainbow Lizard, and he sold for a best offer of $12. And then next up, we have a vintage Winnie the Pooh from Sears. Winnie the Pooh is an oversaturated character, but I still always pick him up if the cost of goods is low enough. Yes, he's oversaturated. No, he doesn't typically comp for a lot unless you have a super special one. But he still sells. And this one had something going on there with the shirt, too. So this probably would have gone for a little bit more money, but I had to disclose that his shirt was damaged. He's super cute, though. This is one of the cutest Poohs I've ever seen. And he's from Sears. Remember Sears? All right, so he sold for $14.06. And then we have another Neopet, same lot as the last one. This is one that came in the bag, also a McDonald's toy. Also, this one I accepted a best offer on of $13.99. Next up, we have a Disneyland Walt Disney World brand Daisy Duck. Some of the more saturated Disney characters, I kind of try to avoid Hasbro, Mattel, Fisher-Price, and go for the parks tags like this or the Disney store. But even then, sometimes, and you can see this is an official Disney Parks tag right there, they don't comp that high just because they're oversaturated. She's not unique in any type of way. She's not a special Daisy. She's just a regular Daisy Duck. She sold for best offer of $11, and I would source her again. That's nice bread and butter. Next up, here's another Gans Webkins. This is the baby penguin. He sold for $16.87. So this is one of the higher priced bread and butter Gans. And you can see right there, he says baby penguin. He's super cute. Then we have just a duck from Kelly Toy. This came in a wholesale lot. Nothing special about it. Kelly Toy is an okay brand. A lot of people will tell you Kelly Toy is poop and to avoid it, but guess who makes Care Bears? Guess who makes vintage Care Bears? Guess who makes a lot of really good plush? Don't write Kelly Toy off. But if I saw this generic duck in the wild, I honestly would have passed up on him. But because he came in a wholesale lot, my theory is I've already paid for the lot, already making profit on the animals that went for a lot more money. I'm going to list everything in there. It takes me literal seconds to photograph an animal. So this one sold for $11.24, and I just kind of described it with keywords to get her to move, even though she's nothing too super special. Then we have a Jim Bin Happy Bunny. You guys remember Happy Bunnies? They were all over notebooks and stationery and clothing for a while. They were very popular for a little bit. This one says, I'm not spoiled. I deserve all my stuff. It sold for $15.99. So you know what? If I found another Happy Bunny in the wild, I'd pick it up. Because 50 cents into $16 for me is a good flip. That is solid bread and butter. Next up, we have Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. This one is by Fisher-Price. So it's going to come in and comp at a little bit less or sell for a little bit less than if it were like official Sesame Street brand. And he sold for $9.27. Took a best offer on him. So he only sold for $9.27. So I'd probably pass up. He had some stuff going on with his eyes too. See? They're damaged. I try to look for the official Sesame Street Elmos and Cookie Monsters, just kind of like with Disney, where I try to look for Disney store. Anytime they're Fisher-Price, Mattel, Hasbro, they're going to be worth less than if they were the official brand. Here we have a Disney store, speaking of, Tiny Big Feet Thumper. This is a really tiny plush. It is only 4 inches big. So, of course, it's shipped first class. It is official Disney store. There's the tag, in case you've never seen a Disney store tag. Now you have. And this tiny little animal sold for $14.99. Next up, we have Boyd's Bears. I love Boyd's Bears. Some Boyd's Bears are huge bolos and worth huge money. And some are going to be bread and butter. I take the risk anytime I find them, just like with Gans. I will buy all the Boyd's Bears. If somebody had 100 Boyd's Bears at a yard sale, I would literally offer them $50 for all 100 and see if I could get them for 50 cents a piece. And I would bring all 100 home and photograph them and comp them and list them. I love Boyd's Bears. The thing I love most about them is they are typically collectors. Stuffed animals are plush, not so much given to kids as toys. And so most of the time they're still going to have their cardboard tag like this on them when you find them in the wild. And then they will have their name on them. Now, it looks like somebody wrote that in pen. It's actually meant to look that way. That is the bear's name. When I first started reselling years ago, I didn't know that. I thought I had a bunch of bears that somebody wrote on. But when I started looking them up, I've discovered that's what they're supposed to look like. So that is normal. It'll look like it's written on with a ballpoint pen, but that's actually the bear's name. So if they have the cardboard piece, look for that, because I can put that in the title. And the collectors specifically looking for the Sangria rabbit will be able to find mine. So I took a best offer on her of $16.16. And then next up, we have another Disney store exclusive. This is Angel from Lilo and Stitch Kids Show. She has the cutest look. She's a little hard on her butt. She's so cute. Stitch is cute too, but I really like Angel. I think she's precious. She sold for $24.99. So keep your eyes out for those rare characters. Characters that are not as saturated as Pooh and Mickey Mouse and Goofy and all of them. They're going to sell for more. They're harder to find. Especially, just a quick tip, obscure and hard to find villains from old Disney movies. Those do really well. All right, next up we have a Fisher-Price Laugh and Learn. These come in different types. They'll have different things on their hands, different things written on them. Some have these bows, which are meant to be the girl dogs. Some don't have bows, and they're meant to be the boy dogs. So there's girls and boys. They have them that do different things and say different things. Most of them are going to sell for around $12, and then if they weigh over a pound, you can charge shipping. And usually get calculated 1 to 2 pounds on the dog, and you can ship it in a box. This is like maybe the 5th one I've sold. I've had several. I usually list them for $11.99, free ship if they're first class, which this one was, and $11.99 with calculated shipping if they weigh more than a pound. And I don't know why some weigh like 1.5 pounds on their own and some are only 12 or 13 ounces. Maybe it has something to do with what they do, and they weigh less if they have less internal parts. But I usually start them around 12. So they're a good bread and butter item if you can find them at low enough cost or like a wholesale lot or something. Then we have another Lovey. This is another Lovey that has an animal. So this is Quack Quack. It's just a blue one by Carter's, and it sold for $17.99. Took a best offer on this one. Almost all Loveys are going to ship first class also, by the way, and they do well. I love Loveys. All right, and last but not least, here's another Gans Webkins. This one's a Koala Bear. This one sold for $10.50 on a best offer. And this is what it looks like. So you can see there it has the tag, and I said no code. That is one thing you have to be careful with. Obviously, if you get a Gans Webkin home and it does not have this tag on it, you know it does not have a code. But having that tag on it does not necessarily mean that it has an unused code. You need to check and double check and make sure that the plastic has never been opened. Most of the times when they're brand new, these plastic sheets around the code cardboard piece will have a ribbon tied in it. And if the ribbon hasn't been untied and you can tell the plastic has never been opened up, then you can say it has a code. But you have to double check, because just because this is on the animal doesn't mean it has the code. If it looks like the ribbon is missing or the plastic has been opened, chances are someone took the code out and used it, and you can't use it twice. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Gans Webkins come with codes that you go online and you get a virtual animal. And so if the code has been used and you advertise it as having a code, you're looking at an item that is a described case. So just check and make sure that the plastic is completely sealed. Look for that ribbon. Make sure yours has a code before you claim it does. If you have any doubt about it, just leave this tag on the plush and say it doesn't have a code. Then you're going to have a buyer that may have a code that wasn't expecting it, and that's better than the other way around. All right, guys, those are all of the plush that sold on our eBay platform in the month of June. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or want to tell me about any of the plush that you sold or found out in the wild while you were sourcing. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you leave. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. There's a link down below to join, or you can just search on Facebook. Until next time, go be productive, go make some money, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.